Hi, I'm Marcia Lehman, and I'm a Knox County Master Gardener. Today I'm at the home of another Master Gardener, and we will be pruning Fothergilla. This is the plant. It is a plant that spreads by root suckering, so we will use a couple bungee cords to try and tie it up so we can see the stems, and basically they need minimal pruning. We're really thinning for a little airflow and sunshine and to get rid of the excess suckers. It should be done after flowering, and I can still find a couple of recently spent buds, so we're not too late. They're relatively slow growing. They do have this mounded appearance, so never take a hedge trimmer to it. If you need to shape it, then you're going to follow a stem back into the shrub and prune somewhere down inside. It is a native, so if you're looking to add native species to your landscape, you can consider this. They generally get 6 to 10 feet tall, so it's not a gigantic shrub. And I think that's all I want to say for getting started. Let me take some time and tie this up so we can see the stems, and then we'll come in and start to prune. I do have my hand pruners and my long-handled loppers, both of which have been sanitized. Let's get to work. We've put a bungee cord around here to pull the stems together so that I can show you the base of this plant. And what we have are, here's a major stem that comes up and then forks with 5 smaller branches. Here's a second one in the back and a third one here. And it's this third one on the right that is now starting to send suckers and shoots up on the outside. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a couple of those off of this one that's trying to spread. These first couple cuts are just 1/4 of an inch in diameter. And then I'm going to take off some of the really small spindly things. And of course, I see some stuff in the middle that's dead just because it's not getting any sunlight. And so we'll take that out. Say, no leaves. So we'll clean up some of this little stuff in the middle. Let me pull this back again. Here's one that comes from the back side and grows through the middle. So we'll take that off. I'm going to need to make a second cut on that because I didn't get all the way down. This one wants to flop out, so we'll take that off. And all these cuts are deep inside, so when I take these bungees off, you won't see that we've done that reduction. So let me come around and get a little more, some dead stuff here. Not a lot of dead stuff. This did not take a big hit in the winter freeze back at Christmas time. But to keep the mounding shape and keep things up off the ground, we're going to clean out some of this stuff down low. And again, most of the cuts are going to be down low in the center. So when you walk past the shrub, you will not see that it has had significant pruning done. With a multi-stem shrub like this, sometimes you get your hands in a weird position, but it all works as long as you make a good clean cut. And a lot of these things in the center, what you'll see is there's absolutely no leaf until you get to the very tip, and that's the piece that was exposed to sunlight. So now I can clean up that other cut I made and make one more back here. And already I see a difference. And what I want to do now, the other thing I see, is we have some crossing branches. Now part of that may be because of the way I've positioned the bungee cords. So I'm going to release the bungee cord, plural. And now we're back to, let me stand up next to this shrub. Now what I want to do is come in and look at these stems, and if they are crossing, you know, pull them around. Maybe I can get them to stop crossing. And if that's the case, then they get to stay. And if they just insist upon crossing and rubbing, then one of them is going to go. And here's a little more spindly stuff in the middle. One of the nice things about standing up and looking down in is it's a completely different perspective, and you do get to see some of the spindly stuff. Yeah, here's a whole branch in the back here that wants to grow into the other shrubs. So let me pause and get my long-handled loppers, and I'm going to take that one off. It's in the back where you can't see. I cleaned out a couple things in the back where there's no way for us to show you, but it was the same as what I was doing in the front. And while standing up and looking down in, I found very small, I mean, when I say small, it's maybe a 1/16 of an inch in diameter, little short sprigs that were dead that I snipped off. There's probably a few more in here. You never find all of them. But in the process of trying to fix some crossing things, I got most things uncrossed and they go in the direction I want. But there's one exception, and it's this one. It just does not want to go anywhere except to rub against an adjacent stem, so it comes off. And then I'm going to stand back up. I actually think I'm done pruning. I may come back in here one more time just for a final check of, did I get all the little spindly things? And I actually think that the few little dead twigs that I found were not so much freeze damage, but just starved for sunlight. So they never really took off and started to grow. So there, I think we're done. Again, Fothergilla is a native plant. It requires minimal pruning. And the thing you want to focus on is coming in and cleaning out some of the suckers that start to form from the roots that cause the plant to get kind of overgrown and dense. And in the process of removing some of those, we automatically thin out the plant for more airflow and sunshine. So again, a low maintenance plant. If you're not big in pruning, this is one for you. Hope you learned something today, and we thank you for joining us.